let's talk about Steven Gerrard next. He gave his first press conference as the new Villa boss a little bit earlier on, and he gave us an insight into his long-term vision for the club.
I think success in football is always about winning football matches, first and foremost. Long term, I think the club would like to be back on the European level. I don't think it's the right time now to put any date or specific date on that. But for me, more importantly, it's about focusing on the short term, which is Brighton at the weekend. We need to start winning football matches again and moving up the table. So that's the short term goal.
Steven Gerrard, the new Aston Villa boss. You'll hear his first game in charge against Brighton. And that, of course, is at Villa Park. It's 3 p.m, live and exclusively here on talkSPORT as part of Game Day on Saturday. Let's talk about Steven Gerrard, what he can take from his time as a player, an iconic player. He already has taken it into management in Scotland, but he can lean on his Premier League experience with Aston Villa now. You've played against him, a very famous match, of course, where he was a difference maker, if you like, in the FA Cup final in 2006. But from what you know of Steven Gerrard, what's he like as a player and a character?
Very driven, definitely very driven. And on the pitch, a class act. The only way to describe him, a winner. You know, especially, like you say, the game that you referenced to was the FA Cup final. He took the ball by his horns and took it to us and made that his own FA Cup final. And the drive that he has himself, he seemed to have taken that into as a manager, because let's not get it twisted, Rangers was a hard gig for him, you know, especially with the history of what he was walking into. Celtic were just about to go and do the first one to do 10 in a row. It's a big achievement for him to go there with them having the momentum to then go and win the league to stop them doing the 10 in a row. Like, that's a massive, massive thing. I only know that because I played up there for a year. But that was his drive and his willingness to make sure that he delivered what he said he was going to deliver.
Dean Saunders on the show last night was talking about the fact that his presence seems to have immediately translated. Some managers, they're very tactical. It's all about what they do on the training ground in terms of being a coach. Some people walk into the room and you can immediately feel the difference. When you saw him lining up against you, firstly, did he have that presence? Did he have that fear factor? And do you think he can take that into the changing room as a coach?
Yeah, 100%. When he walked past me in the tunnel, I didn't stand side by side with him because he was captain and I wasn't. But when he walked past, you knew he was there. You know, the thought of looking at his shirt, seeing 8 Gerrard, just that makes you go, wow. Especially like a lot of my friends, Liverpool supporters as well. So looking at it, that's their idol. I'm standing in the tunnel with him. 8 Gerrard, wow. Do you know what I mean? It is a big thing. But not just that. As a manager, he's still fit enough to get involved in training and do the boxes. So that's where he will gain respect as well. And authority, because he'll probably still be one of the best in the keep balls and the rondos. So that people will be looking at it going, oh, I can learn from him.
What do you think, Darren? Steven Gerrard, in terms of his, he's already shown us a little bit what he's got at Rangers. What can he add at Aston Villa?
Discipline, leadership, authority, belief. There are so many things that you could go through that he possessed as a player that he instilled into a Rangers side that when he arrived, they were in a 3-way fight with Aberdeen and Hibs for second place behind Celtic. They won the league. He led them to the league last season. Record points tally. Record number of clean sheets. 25 points clear. 13 league goals conceded all season. And that is what he's going to bring to Aston Villa. He's going to get players knowing their jobs. He's going to get players who thought that they could try it on with Dean Smith, unable to try it on with him.
You've hit the nail on the head there. Having people know their jobs, that's one thing. He says it himself. I was not a talker. I wasn't a shouter on the pitch as a leader, but I led by example because I knew my job and I knew what I had to do. And that's what he wants in his players, and that's what you see in his players that play for him. They know what they're doing. And to me, that shows that he leaves no stone unturned on the training pitch in terms of tactical nous and what he wants to do when it comes match day. And for me as a player, when I did play, I love that more than anything, because what it does, it takes away any excuses, and you're accountable for what you're not doing because you've been told.
When you look at Villa then, with him at the club, what would your expectations for the club be?
I think they're going to tighten up defensively. I think the likes of like Konza and Mings, they'll have protection more than they have done. You know, midfielders won't be vacating the middle of the pitch as quick as they do at the moment, which will then allow them to start something and have a platform to start from. You know, everyone knows that a team starts from having a solid foundation, and that comes from the back. But it's not just the back; it's the trunk of the team. The spine of the team needs to be solid. You know, and midfielders vacating that middle of the park so quickly leaves teams to exploit areas that maybe defenders don't want to come into. You know, and I think that's what he will shore up 100%.
I got to say, the only thing that I think Dean Smith is a good coach. I've spoken before. Maybe I didn't think he was tactically great, but I think he has shown already in his time at Aston Villa and his previous management jobs that he is a quality manager, and I think he'll do a decent job at Norwich as well. I don't know how much of a step up right now Steven Gerrard is, but of course we know it seems like he's got a very high ceiling. I don't know how much better Steven Gerrard is right now today as a coach. What do you mean? What do you mean? Come on.
I think Gerrard is a step up in profile. Gerrard has just
but
managed
as a coach,
one of the. All right, I know we've got to go to a break. They're going to hit me over the head.
You don't think Dean Smith could win the league in Scotland?
We've got to go to a break.
Well,
otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble, and then you're going to get a depot here next week.
The question is, will Steven Gerrard be a success at Aston Villa? I want to know from you. 03717 223344. We'll have this argument during the break instead.